Hey everyone, it's Alex, and I am here with my video for the winners of the 37th Razzie Awards. And I had meant to make a video about them shortly after the winners were announced, but unfortunately I just got busy with work and life, and I had been making so many videos up to that point about the Oscars and the Razzies and everything else that I honestly needed a break. I was only intending to wait maybe a week or so, but then work and life and just caught up with me, and I just got busy, and every time I wanted to make this video as well as my next video about the Oscar winners, something else came up and I forgot about this. So I apologize for the long wait, but at least I'm not waiting 6 months later like I did last year, which now that I think about it, I don't know why I let myself go that long without making a winners video. So again, I apologize for waiting this long to make this video, but I'm making it now, so let's get to it. Now, the Razzies are a unique award show in the fact that, like I said in my nominations video, they're the only award show that honors the worst movies of a given year rather than the best. And unlike most award shows, the Razzies are not broadcast on television. The only way you're able to find out the winners is in the press statements that they release or in the videos they release on their YouTube channel. And this year what they did was they released a video on their YouTube channel where they announced the winners for each category in their own unique way. So since I can't review the Razzie ceremony, I'm just going to review the winners. So here are the winners for the 37th Razzie Awards. And I got them right here on my laptop. Worst Prequel, Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel: Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Worst Screenplay: Chris Terrio and David S. Goyer, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Worst Screen Combo: Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Worst Supporting Actor: Jesse Eisenberg, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. Worst Supporting Actress: Kristen Wiig, Zoolander 2. Worst Actor: Dinesh D'Souza, Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party. Worst Actress: Becky Turner, Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party. Worst Director: Dinesh D'Souza and Bruce Schooley, Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party. Worst Picture: Hillary's America, The Secret History of the Democratic Party, Gerald R. Mullen, producer. And then there were 2 special awards given out. These awards were not announced during the initial nominations, so nobody even knew about them until the rest of the winners were announced. So the first special award is the Barry L. Bumstead Award, which goes to Misconduct. And this was a film I had never heard of, and I'm someone who goes on IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes all the time. So the fact that this movie completely slipped off my radar should come as no surprise when you hear just how badly this movie did. So Misconduct was a film that starred Al Pacino and Anthony Hopkins, and it received the Barry L. Bumstead Award because it cost $11 million to make, and it grossed only $15,150 at the box office. So for a film starring Al Pacino and Anthony Hopkins to gross that low, yeah, that's really, really bad. Actually, that's exceptionally bad. And then finally, the Razzie Redeemer Award. This is the award that the Razzies have given out for the past few years to people who have made some bad choices in their career, but then really turned it around with one particular film or a particular group of films. And I didn't think they would be doing it this year because they didn't announce any candidates, because for the last few years they had nominees for this. But this year they did pick a certain person to win this, and I guess they decided not to have anyone compete against him, because the winner of the Razzie Redeemer Award this year is Mel Gibson for making Hacksaw Ridge. Mel Gibson, of course, pretty much been a Hollywood pariah for the last decade due to his anti-Semitic and racist comments. So whether or not this comeback will last, we'll see, but it certainly is the kind of comeback that nobody saw coming until it actually came. And of course, Hacksaw Ridge ended up being a major player at the Oscars, which I'll discuss in my Oscar winners video. Now, about the winners themselves. So obviously, Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice and Hillary's America: The Secret History of the Democratic Party are the big winners here. And unfortunately, I cannot truly say for sure if they are deserving winners for everything because I did not see either of those movies. Batman vs. Superman I wasn't really going to see anyway, mainly because I'm not a comic book movie person. I don't hate comic book movies. Several of the ones I've seen are really good, but I'm not the kind of person who's like, oh my god, another comic book movie, I need to go see it in the theater, woo! I never really grew up on comic books or superhero action figures. And, you know, they just never really interested me. And Hillary's America I never was going to see anyway, mainly because I knew I was not going to be able to go into that film with an open mind. It's basically an extremely conservative propaganda film, and propaganda films are not easy for anyone to watch with an open mind because you know exactly what kind of viewpoint they're going to make, and you know you're either going to agree with it or disagree with it before you see the movie. One of the men who made that movie, Dinesh D'Souza, doesn't exactly have the greatest reputation. So yeah, that was already a big red flag right there. Now, in terms of Batman vs. Superman, this movie was a movie that split a lot of people. There are a lot of people who really love it and who will strongly defend it against people who hated it, and then there are the people who absolutely hate it and think it's one of the worst movies ever. And then you have people in the middle who feel that some elements were good and some elements were bad. Some of Batman vs. Superman's wins are being cheered unanimously, like Jesse Eisenberg for Worst Supporting Actor, because virtually everyone has hated his performance. But I know a lot of people are upset about Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill winning for Worst Screen Combos, since many people feel their performances, particularly Ben Affleck's, were good. And then with Hillary's America, you know, there's been a lot of debate of whether or not the Razzies nominated it because it's a bad movie. It only has like a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes, or if they nominated it solely for political purposes, mainly as revenge for Hillary Clinton losing the election. I suspect it's probably a mix of both. I mean, the Razzies have had a history of nominating films, you know, for pure spite. Fahrenheit 9/11 was nominated for several Razzies and even won some, because despite the fact that it was a critically acclaimed movie, the Razzies felt they needed to basically give the middle finger to George W. Bush while he was president. And they very well could be doing the same here. But then again, I've heard from many people saying Hillary's America was one of the absolute worst movies, not just of 2016, but that they had ever seen in their whole life, regardless of their political affiliations. If voters did vote for Hillary's America solely for political purposes and not because they felt it was the worst movie of the year, that's very disappointing. If they truly didn't feel it was the absolute worst movie of the year, then they shouldn't have voted for it. But if they did and they did vote for it, then I have no problem with that. However, this still leaves the fact that many films that were nominated here walked away with nothing. The biggest one being Dirty Grandpa. Dirty Grandpa was so bad, I still don't understand how it walked away with no awards, not even just one. I mean, it was nominated in virtually every category. It was nominated for Worst Supporting Actress for Aubrey Plaza, Worst Actor for Robert De Niro, and Worst Picture. And Dirty Grandpa has been on virtually every critic and movie fan's worst list of 2016, and many people, including myself, feel it's one of the absolute worst movies ever made. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I've said it before many times, but I'll say it again. Dirty Grandpa is truly one of the absolute worst movies I have ever seen in my entire life. I honestly don't know how any of this was approved by a studio. I don't know how people think this movie was funny. I went to the theater to see it, and people were laughing hysterically at everything. I seriously don't get it. And the performances of Robert De Niro and Aubrey Plaza have been described as excruciatingly painful to watch, that not at least one of them couldn't have won a Razzie. Like I said, I can't truly judge Batman vs. Superman and Hillary's America since I haven't actually seen them. But are they bad enough to win almost every Razzie and leave Dirty Grandpa completely out in the cold? My instinct says no. I mean, Dirty Grandpa, it was the movie that needed to win a Razzie. That's how bad it was. Just like how there are some films that are so good they need to win an Oscar, some films are so bad that they need to win a Razzie. I mean, 50 years from now, Dirty Grandpa will probably be ranked among other Razzie-winning films that have been frequently ranked among the worst movies ever made, like Battlefield Earth, Freddy Got Fingered, Geely, Jack and Jill. It'll probably be ranked up there with all those movies. And it couldn't win at least one Razzie? Come on! There's really nothing else I can say here because the only other film to win a Razzie besides those two was Zoolander 2 with Kristen Wiig as Worst Supporting Actress. I haven't seen Zoolander 2 because I hated the first film so much that I didn't even want to see the second one, and while I'm sure many will probably be happy she won, so therefore I can't say anything about it, but I've heard Kristen Wiig was truly awful, but was she really worse than Aubrey Plaza and Dirty Grandpa? Well, that's all I have to say about the Razzies. So all I can say about after this is hopefully the Razzies will spread a little more love next year to the worst film winners, unless there's one film that's so bad that it deserves to sweep. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe to my channel so you can get more of my new videos as they're uploaded, and let me know in the comment section below what you think of the Razzie winners. Are you satisfied or dissatisfied with them? And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!